just know that Britney has known him since she was a little girl. I don't want to make somebody uncomfortable, so we'll just drop that subject.
It's a little too late for that, don't you think?
Oh.
Justin, Christina, Britney.
Now, how long have you known Justin? A long time, right?
Yeah, since I was like 12 years old.
12 years old.
Who was your first crush?
My first crush, yeah, it was Justin.
I was 12. He was my first puppy love boyfriend.
His friend dared him to kiss me, so that was my first kiss.
First kiss?
Yes, he was my first kiss.
So, are you in love, do you think?
It's been a while.
The best-selling female artist of the decade.
I shouldn't have kept you waiting.
The ringmaster of the whole circus.
But I'm here now.
My hero, Britney Spears.
You know her by just one name.
The legendary Miss Britney Spears.
The undisputed princess of pop, Britney Spears.
It's Britney, pal.
It's Britney Spears! There's only one bitch. The real one.
It's Britney, bitch. I see you.
Justin Timberlake escorted her up the red carpet.
I just want to dance with you.
Princess arrived with her teen dream prince, Justin Timberlake.
I saw this text which said it's over.
Did you Britney Spears?
Okay, I did it. No.
Well, I'll give them more.
I can't imagine what it's like to have such a public breakup.
Is it frustrating to try to promote an album when all anyone seems to want to talk about is Britney?
Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera debut their joint tour.
I know that if I was in a relationship then something happened, I couldn't really go there. Keep on rocking.
Promised to her that I wouldn't say specifically why we broke up.
I'm single. I would date Christina.
Feels like the crowd is saying. We were at a club and she came to me and she put her tongue down my throat. You feel that?
In the meantime, she told us she was giving you advice about the breakup with Justin.
Britney, bitch.
Oh, she was? Okay.
Britney, bitch.
Hi, I'm Jake.
And I'm Shelby. Welcome to a very special and highly requested episode of Deep Dive.
Now today, me and Shelby are diving into the greatest Hollywood story ever told like you've never heard it before.
And the most infamous breakup of all time. You may think you know Britney, Justin, and Christina, but we've scoured every corner of the internet
and uncovered a shocking timeline of events. One that not only crushed Britney's spirit, but forced her to get a procedure she never wanted in the first place.
They all may have been friends when they were Mouseketeers.
But after 3 separate rises to fame, multiple relationships, and cheating scandals,
the 3 stars can't even be in the same room together.
So join us on the journey of just how 3 stars would shine brighter than anyone.
Only to collide into each other and make a spectacle that would be heard around the world for decades to come.
So buckle up
and keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle.
Because we're covering the 90s Mickey Mouse Club pop explosion.
The rise and fall of America's sweethearts.
The greatest pop rivalry of all time.
And the countless deep web interviews of the stars ripping each other to absolute shreds.
And last but not least, Britney's revenge.
So sit back and relax because we're about to go as deep as physically possible into the world of the Mickey Mouse Club gone wild. Before we take it back to the early 2000s, we want to thank Dave for sponsoring this episode of Deep Dive. Dave is a banking app that is on a mission to level the financial playing field. Big banks in 2022 made almost $10 billion on overdraft fees alone. And Dave wants to make those predatory fees a thing of the past. When you download Dave, you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit checks or late fees. It's part of Dave's extra cash account. Advance the money you need with no interest. That's something that would have come in handy for me back when my car broke down while I was in between paychecks. I also love Dave's Goals account, where you can track and save for your specific goals. This account also has a 4% annual percentage yield, which means you earn interest just by keeping cash in the account. The best part is there are no hidden fees or minimum deposits. It's your money. You should be able to take it when needed without being penalized. So download Dave today at dave.com/deep dive. That's dave.com/deep dive. You could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave. Dive. No credit check, no late fees. So don't forget to download the Dave app now or go to dave.com/deepdive. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Eligibility criteria and instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC. Now let's get back to the twisted world of Britney, Justin, and Christina.
Our twisting and winding story through the early 2000s actually begins in the magical world of 1980 Star Search.
The next little star comes to Hollywood via San Antonio, Texas, Tokyo, Japan, and most recently, Rochester, Pennsylvania. And she's only 8 years old. Please give an international welcome to Christina Aguilera. From Millington, Tennessee, welcome 11-year-old Justin Randall.
Sounds like love got a hold on you.
From Kentwood, Louisiana, Star Search welcomes 10-year-old Britney Spears.
Back in the year 1989, the Disney Channel realized they wanted to revitalize the 1950s classic kids talent show called the Mickey Mouse Club.
The Disney Channel has begun its nationwide search for talented youngsters who will become those special members of the forthcoming new Mickey Mouse Club series.
The all-new Mickey Mouse Club would search for the most talented kids across the United States and put them on a reoccurring weekly program to show off their acting, special tricks, dancing, and most of all, their singing. Disney executives didn't know it yet, but this nationwide talent search would yield the next several generations of Hollywood icons. This legendary cast would consist of actress Kerry Russell, Rhonda Bennett from the R&B trio and Vogue, Oscar winner Ryan Gosling, NSYNC alumni J.C. Chase as Justin Timberlake, and vocal powerhouse Christina Aguilera. But there was one Mouseketeer on the cast that would transition to a global sensation, cultural icon, and the current reigning Princess of Pop. And her name was Britney Jean Spears.
It's Britney, bitch.
See, two of the most notable cast members, Britney and Christina, were initially too young to fulfill their roles in the all-new Mickey Mouse Club.
Hey guys, you know, I'm from a small town in Pennsylvania called Wexford, but now I'm here in Orlando.
There's a lot more to do in Florida. I like to play a lot of sports. I like outdoor activities, swimming, going to zoos and little places like that.
Welcome to my hometown of Kentwood, Louisiana. It's a small town about an hour north of New Orleans. I feel the need for speed! Where I come from is country, and when I get back home, I start talking country again. Stuff like yonder and hey y'all, or what y'all doing, stuff like that. This is my great-grandmother. Everybody calls her Granny, and you haven't tasted any seafood until you taste hers. I work the cash register and clean the tables and help the customers. These are going to be the best shrimp you've ever had.
But producers saw a true spark in them. An entire year later, Disney Channel producers still couldn't fully form their cast without Britney and Christina. Thus, they called their parents up and let them know they were making an exception to the age requirement of the Mickey Mouse Club, and that both of their daughters were to come back and audition again. Needless to say, an 11-year-old Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera were cast in the Mickey Mouse Club, and subsequently swallowed up by the Hollywood machine. The 1993 cast of the all-new Mickey Mouse Club would be deemed one of the most talented casts in the history of children's programming, and the show would become a major success. One by one, each of the Mouseketeers would leave the show to begin their solo careers. The first Mouseketeer to take the leap into the real world of music would be 14-year-old Christina Aguilera. Even though she couldn't even legally get her driver's license yet, Christina would make the huge move across the world to Japan, all to record with Robert Aleka and Michael Brown. There, the pair introduced a young teenage Christina to Japanese pop star Kizo Nakanishi, and they recorded Christina's first ever song titled All I Wanna Do.
Do you like Japan?
Oh, I love Japan. Everybody is so nice.
However, the song failed to give Christina any traction at all. The next Mouseketeers to take their shots at a career were J.C. Chasez and Justin Timberlake. After meeting the notorious Larry Rudolph and Johnny Wright, Lynn Harless, Justin Timberlake's mother, would be introduced to boy band con man and creator of the Backstreet Boys, Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman would piece together the two Mouseketeers with three other boys from Orlando, Florida. and create the cultural phenomenon NSYNC.
Hey, hey.
With the success of the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC's career was bound to explode. Lou Pearlman had the recipe to create a pop supergroup. Thus, he sent the group off to Sweden to record with Grammy winner Max Martin. NSYNC's careers would immediately take off to greater heights than even the Backstreet Boys. Britney and her parents saw this, so at only 13 years old, Britney Spears was introduced to the managers and creators of NSYNC, Lou Pearlman, Johnny Wright, and Larry Rudolph. Lou Pearlman would immediately attempt to place Britney Spears in his new girl group Innocence, an American take on the British pop supergroup the Spice Girls. However, Larry Rudolph, an entertainment lawyer and NSYNC manager, had bigger plans for Britney. Even though at the time industry executives were only looking for group acts, Larry Rudolph saw a solo career for Britney bigger than her wildest dreams. But the industry actually didn't see this at first. Labels were convinced at the time that there wouldn't be another Madonna or Tiffany. However, once they heard Britney Spears' voice, they were wowed by how flawlessly she could deliver an emotional and commercial hit.
When I was like 8 years old, I began singing, and I went to the Mickey Mouse Club. I did that. It was with a bunch of kids. It was a lot of fun. And I came to New York, and I did an off-Broadway musical called Ruthless. I met an entertainment lawyer. He sent me to New York when I was 15 at the time. And I was so nervous, and I got up in front of, a bunch of his executives at Jive, and I sang, and they signed me. So that's how I'm here today.
Thus, in 1997, Jive Records signed Britney and sent her off to Sweden to record with Max Martin. All the odds were against Britney, as this was the age of the boy band. Over the course of her 11-day trip to Sweden, Max and Britney would cook up multiple tracks that would not only change Britney Spears' life, but the course of pop music forever.
Making my first record is great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and people really don't realize what work goes into it. Max is as nice as he is talented. He's really a great guy, and I'm very thankful to be able to work with him. He's great. And yeah, in Sweden we went there, and it was really busy. We went there for 10 days. We got a lot done, and it was just great. We just went in there and sang it. It felt good.
The songs are pop, and the vocals are so soulful, I think. She's got an excellent voice. It's like what I heard in the Backstreet Boys, that they had, excellent voice with a bit flavor in it.
Now, while Britney was in Sweden, Christina was making some major career moves as well, sending demo tapes to every single record label in Hollywood. It was a true race to the finish line on who could get their album out first. Walt Disney Records would hear Christina's demo recording of Run to You by Whitney Houston.
I wanna run to you.
I would like to thank Miss Christina. You've done the best rendition of Run to You beside myself. I thank you.
And Christina would be selected to record the official cover of Reflections for the 1998 Disney classic Mulan.
If you have little ones, chances are that you've seen the new Disney movie Mulan. You may have even heard the soundtrack. Well, here's a treat. One of the singers on that soundtrack is right in our studio now with Madeline. Madeline?
That's right, Robin. With me, Christina Aguilera. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Christina.
Yeah.
How did you get selected for this?
It was actually through my record company. I was being shopped around a few months ago, and RCA just calls me out of the blue one day. Disney approached them to see if they had anyone that could sing the song. They've been looking for months, and next thing I know, I'm out in LA auditioning, and I got the job.
This would actually catch the attention of Ron Fair, the A&R executive at Jive's competing label, RCA. He couldn't believe Christina Aguilera's vocal range at such a young age, and knew a soulful voice like this only comes around once in a generation. Thus, Ron convinced RCA to pour over $1 million into voice lessons, dancing lessons, songwriters, and producers for Christina's debut album. He knew Christina's debut needed to be perfect. Thus, he sat with the songs for a long time to make them absolutely perfect, timeless classics. When it came time to record a debut single, Ron knew of a demo floating around for a song he wrote entitled Genie in a Bottle. Songwriters for the girl group Innocence, that Britney was actually supposed to be a part of, attempted to get the song for their group instead, as they were convinced Genie in a Bottle would be sold better by an entire group. Paula Abdul's team was convinced it would be better for her. However, Ron Fair was firm that Genie in a Bottle was to be Christina Aguilera's very first debut single. Neither innocence nor Paula Abdul had an album that was ready to release, and Christina's debut album was completely finished and ready to go. So the songwriters and Ron Fair alike both agreed the song would have the best chance on Christina's debut record. But before Christina had time to release her album, Britney would return from Sweden in May of 1998 and immediately embark on a tour of Malls of America, sponsored by L'Oreal. At these shows, Britney would perform her 4 songs she recorded with Max Martin. And on September 29, 1998, pop music history would be made, as Jive Records would release Britney Spears' debut single, Baby One More Time. To promote her new single, 2 months later, Britney would actually be added to NSYNC's 1998 tour, and a very iconic subsequent music video for Baby One More Time would begin airing on MTV. For the first few dates of the NSYNC tour, Britney would actually be booed, as the NSYNC fans thought she was dating one of the band members. And on top of that, they had no idea who she was. But by the end of the tour, they'd be screaming her name. As on January 12, 1999, Britney Spears would release her debut album, Baby One More Time. She would begin going TV network to TV network promoting her debut single, and the public would be diagnosed with Britney Spears fever. For the next few months, every single news outlet and late night show became obsessed with Britney Spears, and she would go on to sell over 30 million copies of her debut album, effectively shaking up the industry and ending the 90s boy band craze. It was the dawning of the age of Britney Spears, and every label wanted a piece.
I was in West Palm Beach, and I had a show to do that night, and I was sleeping and I was resting, and Barry Weiss, the guy from, he's like the president of the record label, he called me on the same line with my manager, and they called and they were like, well, guess what? They said, your album debuted at #1, and I thought, for some reason, because I was sleeping, I thought they meant that the single went to #1, and this is before we even knew about the single. And I was like, oh yeah, the single went to #1. I was like so excited, and they're like, no, your album. I just totally flipped out. I was like, what? I said, oh my gosh, you know, I didn't expect that at all, you know. So I was so excited. I was really, really excited. And then the next day, we found out about the single. So I was like, yeah. I was calling everybody. I was calling my mama, my granny, my little sister, just everybody.
Christina Aguilera's self-titled debut album was slated for release the same exact month Britney released her album. However, hers would tragically be delayed by a critical 5 months. All until May 11th, 1999, when RCA finally released Genie in a Bottle. A pop music revolution was officially born, creating a commercial rivalry between RCA and Jive Records, with Britney and Christina as their main fighters. Immediately, because of their involvement in the Mickey Mouse Club, Christina and Britney weren't just set up by their labels as competition, but the press as well.
Over the course of the Mickey Mouse Club, the Mouseketeers would grow very close.
Romance was inevitable for the young cast. Spears connected with another mouse instead.
The Britney and Justin thing seemed pretty inevitable. They were pretty cute. I was pretty infatuated with her. And looking back on it, it definitely had this Great Expectations vibe to it.
They spent all their time together. We were all at my house one night playing one of those, spin the bottle games, and somebody dared them to kiss, and they did.
I think I did give her her first kiss.
After the show, their careers would blow up. And those cute little childhood crushes would blossom into a full-blown relationship. In Hollywood, it's a lonely road to the top. And Britney was fast-tracked into superstardom. In the late 90s, early 2000s, this level of fame meant that you were looked at as a role model for millions of children. One misstep would lead to immense scrutiny from the media. This would put an insane amount of pressure on a teenage Britney to maintain this image of the girl next door. She needed to present herself as, quote, pure and abide by fundamental Christian values, especially when it came to relationships. She would really connect with Justin Timberlake, feeling like he understood her loneliness and the pain of being in the public eye, as he too had to deal with salacious headlines that come along with being a worldwide sensation. This strong bond would lead Britney to fall head over heels for the lead singer of NSYNC. At first, their relationship would need to remain completely under wraps.
Okay, I've heard like a rumor that you and Justin from NSYNC have gone out. I was just wondering if it was true.
No, it's not true.
Not true?
No, it's not true.
Not true.
No, I guess because we were on the Mickey Mouse Club together with JC, but I mean, people are gonna start rumors, but no, it's not true.
Okay.
See, Jive and Lou Pearlman wanted Britney and Justin to appear desirable to their fan bases and the general public. They needed to market the fantasy of Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake as celebrity crushes. Teens across the globe would pin posters of Britney and Justin to their bedroom walls, wear t-shirts with their faces on them, and drown themselves in various NSYNC and Britney merchandise. Their music videos were dominating MTV, and their fan bases would become obsessed with the idea of them. But behind the scenes, their relationship was actually getting pretty serious. In 1999, after the release of Britney's debut album, the Lovebirds would confirm that they were indeed dating, but would still choose to keep their relationship out of the public eye.
Britney Spears and NSYNC's Justin Timberlake took this literally and used their noses.
Britney Spears and Justin are nose nuzzling. That is so cute. That means I like you. I love nose nuzzling.
It wasn't until a year later at the 2000 MTV VMAs when they would make their first ever public appearance as a couple. And it would set the world on fire. Every media outlet would begin covering Britney and Justin's relationship. Newsstands would be full of teen magazines blasting photos of the couple everywhere. They quickly became modern day pop Hollywood royalty.
You know, it's funny, I was thinking the same thing about you. I mean, I was thinking you were kind of hot, too.
We should go out. We should really go out, you know?
I mean, we could, maybe...
However, their now very public relationship would only put more pressure on Britney to remain this perfect little role model. Purity culture in America at the time was in full swing, which emboldened the media to ask the most inappropriate questions, to the point that Britney's virginity was a topic that was up for public discussion.
You're not going to have sex before your marriage.
What?
Is that a standard that is hard to live up to?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm 18 and I have so much of my life to go look forward to, you know, and it's just I really haven't found that right person.
But you hope that you'll remain a virgin until you get married.
Yeah. And my mom always told me, once you have sex with a guy that, you know, you're with or whatever, it's like so many more emotions are involved and everything gets like, you know, crazy and twisted.
That's what Britney told me last August. 9 months later, Us Weekly's Todd Gold posed the same question. And she said, quote, I want to wait to have until I'm married. I do. I want to wait.
How do you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not?
I really wish I would have never said anything to begin with, because I'm kind of stuck in this little place where people are always asking me. But, you know, that's just something that's part of growing up, and that's just something that we all have to deal with, so.
Have there been any changes on that front?
That's a personal question.
Answering the media's gross questions would prove to be a huge mistake, as later, Britney's comments on waiting until marriage would be used by Justin in an attempt to destroy her. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Anyways, Justin and Britney were actively cementing themselves in the Pop Culture Hall of Fame, creating moment after moment on the red carpet, matching their outfits and changing the face of couples' fashion.
It's Britney, bitch.
It's important to note that at the beginning of their relationship, Justin was more famous, as he was headlining the biggest boy band on the face of the planet. But as the relationship progressed, Britney began to shatter records at a rate no one had seen before. At first, their relationship would only propel their careers further. However, according to Britney's memoir, by the year 2000, she was already aware of multiple instances of Justin cheating on her. Stating, quote, because I was infatuated and so in love, I let it go, even though the tabloids seemed determined to rub my face in it. When NSYNC went to London in 2000, photographers caught him with one of the girls from All Saints in a car, but I never said anything. At the time, we'd only been together for a year. She also recalled how one of her dancers informed her about Justin bragging about hooking up with another woman. Britney explained that at that time, she excused it away as Justin just bragging while under the influence. But deep down, she knew it was all true. There were just too many rumors of him sleeping around with various dancers and groupies.
I've been seeing things the way I want them to be. Thought it was just us two, now it's
fucking like it's 3.
She wasn't just hurt by Justin's infidelity, she was hurt by how proud he was of cheating on her. So, after a while, she decided to retaliate against him. In her book, she admits to making out with her choreographer Wade Robson, stating that it was just one time at a Spanish bar after a night of dancing.
She's becoming a woman, she's becoming sexier, she's becoming more aware of her body and her own mind and her own opinions, and I want to show that in all of her work.
He's been with me since day one, since I started doing Baby One More Time and all of my first beginning tours. So he's amazing. He's very cool.
Britney confirms she cheated on Justin, kissing choreographer Wade Robson.
I remember specifically hearing her say, she told me the story how it was with Wade, and it went on for quite a while.
Now I want to bring out a guy who went from choreographing your music videos all the way to creating and directing your new tour. He's only 19. Here's Wade Robson.
Well, first off, as a dancer, she picks up so quickly now. She's just like working with one of the dancers. And then, two, she's just grown so much as a woman, and she's so much more aware of herself that on stage that just comes forth and she connects with her audience.
And that she wrote him this long letter. It was like 14 pages, and it was in her makeup bag. When Justin came around, they visited each other during the tours, I guess he had seen it and then used that, I guess, as an opportunity, because he was friends with Wade. They wrote songs to sort of throw her under the bus.
Now, Justin would find out about Britney's kiss, but they would agree to move past it as a couple. Well, that is until they were confronted with a major life change. Now, again, it's important to remember that at this time, Justin and Britney truly defined what it meant to be a power couple in Hollywood, performing at the Super Bowl together alongside Mary J. Blige to simultaneously climbing the charts. Britney had also just released her second project, Oops, I Did It Again, with hit songs like Lucky and Stronger, making her the most successful pop singer of the time, as she now had 2 certified diamond albums back to back, all before even turning 20 years old. You would think Britney would feel on top of the world as the princess of pop, but behind the scenes, she was struggling with a decision that she says has impacted her to this very day. At the public peak of their relationship, Britney and Justin would find out that Britney was pregnant. Now for Britney, this wasn't horrible news, as one of her biggest dreams in life was to be a mother.
A family? Yes, definitely. In 20 years, I see myself, around my pool with my kids running around, having swimming parties as I drink my margaritas with my girlfriends. I definitely want to have a family, definitely. And what kind of parent would you want to be? I would like to be just like my mom. I would like to be just like her. Oh, so I want to be like her.
Yeah.
However, Justin felt very differently. He would do everything in his power to convince a 19-year-old Britney Spears to terminate. This sent Britney into a tailspin. She did agree to it, as it seemed like it was in the best interest of both of their careers at the time.
If it had been left up to me alone, I never would have done it. And yet Justin was so sure that he didn't want to be a father.
I want to be a young mom. That's my dream. You can judge me however you want, but that's what I want.
The pregnancy was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy, Spears writes. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. She recalls as one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced in my life.
It was important that no one find out about the pregnancy or the which meant doing everything at home. I kept crying and sobbing until it was all over. It took hours, and I don't remember how it ended, but I do, 20 years later, remember the pain of it and the fear. As for Justin, well, TMZ's offering this detail. He was allegedly at Britney's side, strumming his guitar, trying to comfort her as she cried on her bathroom floor.
Many fans have speculated that Britney's hit ballad Every Time is actually about this, with lyrics like,
And every time I see you in my dreams, I see your face, you're haunting me. I guess I need you, baby.
Even though though the co-songwriter on Every Time has since stated it had nothing to do with Britney's procedure, she still couldn't explain why Britney insisted on showing a baby being born as she sunk into a bathtub in the music video. Nonetheless, for the next couple of years, Britney and Justin's now tumultuous relationship would push forward. In this time, Britney would release her first self-titled project, featuring hit songs like Slave for You and Overprotected.
Tuesday night was all about Britney the performer and her self-titled new album. The pop princess arrived with her teen dream prince, NSYNC's Justin Timberlake.
Her record, when I listen to it all the way down, it's put together really nice. That song's at the end of the album, so everything's put together really nice.
This era would showcase a very sexy Britney Spears, who would take the world by storm, all while holding a giant yellow python in her iconic 2001 VMA performance. But it seemed that the more Britney stepped into herself, the further her and Justin would grow apart. By 2002, their 3-year-long relationship would go up in flames when Justin would dump Britney Spears via text message. Britney Spears was beside herself, completely awestruck and heartbroken that the love of her life, this man who'd swept her off her feet, that she'd known since she was a kid, could do something so cruel over a text.
I walk into her trailer, and Britney's not dressed for the next scene. She's not ready. Her hair and makeup isn't ready.
Director Chris Applebaum witnessed it firsthand while on set filming her music video Overprotected.
She's still in like a juicy, couture sweatsuit, and I could immediately tell something was wrong. I asked her if everything was okay, and she said, no, things are not okay, because look. And she held out her flip phone, and I saw this text which said, "It's over," which was from her boyfriend at the time, Justin Timberlake. Seemed like that was the end of the video shoot. On the other hand, if you feel like you want to get out there and show him that he just lost the best thing that he ever had, let's do it. 10 or 15 minutes later, she came out and she was on fire.
There's only one thing.
According to Britney's book, word got around that Justin went on to sleep with 6 or 7 girls that very same week, which left her feeling even more hurt, but also embarrassed. Sadly, this is what the media had been waiting for. They knew that this specific Hollywood breakup would sell big time, and the headlines would be ruthless. The media had spent years building Britney up, patiently waiting for their moment to tear her down in order to rake in millions. Quite literally, as soon as the relationship ended, rumors of Britney cheating on Justin would explode across Hollywood. Justin would do nothing but fan the flames to his own advantage. See, the breakup was perfect timing for Justin's career. He was branching off from NSYNC and going solo with his first album, Justified. It just seems a little suspicious that some of the breakup songs that he wrote on the album were written months before he even ended his relationship with Britney.
Originally, I got the idea for Gone, and obviously I wrote that back when me and Britney were a couple, and she went to the hair salon and said she was going to be back in a couple hours. Got there, decided to get a manicure, pedicure, and wasn't back for like 5. And that's what stemmed the idea for that song. And it's kind of funny if you listen to the lyrics now, maybe I was too blind to see that she needed a change.
For my personal questions, which I know you hate answering, but it's part of my job, as you know. Is it frustrating to try to promote an album when all anyone seems to want to talk about is Britney?
It's not as bad as, it's funny because every time someone interviews me, they're like, listen, I really hate to ask this, but.
So anyway, Britney. Can I just mention Britney for a minute?
Sure.
I don't want to make you feel sad or bad or however
cool.
you would.
And for me, I'm really indifferent. I know that when people hear some of the songs on this record, they're going to associate it with different people. I know someone specifically that they're going to associate some of the songs with. All I can say is I wrote what was in my heart that came from a place that was genuine. I think having a relationship with someone long distance is hard enough, especially being as young as we are, doing it under a microscope with the whole world watching and putting their 2 cents in on what they think it should be. That's obviously, it's different. It's very different.
I can't imagine what it's like to have such a public breakup.
Nothing would be better for his first solo album than him being painted in the media as this newly single, poor little heartbroken pop star. During Justified's release, Justin would embark on a PR tour where he would use his breakup with Britney to propel his career forward, all while throwing Britney under the bus, making her out to be the villain. He would then allude to Britney's infidelity in his music video for Cry Me a River, even hiring a Britney lookalike to represent their relationship.
Obviously, people immediately take these songs and they're listening to them and they're thinking, break up with Britney Spears. Let's find out what these...
Right.
And you said, it's all in the music. Go ahead and connect the dots.
I said, what I meant by the things that I said was, everybody's going to get their own interpretation from the things that I've put on this record. So I'm not even going to try to justify.
Thoughts on JT's infamous post-breakup video? She says, quote, "A woman who looks like me cheats on him and he wanders around sad in the rain. That just contributed to a media narrative portraying her as a, quote, harlot who'd broken the heart of America's golden boy."
When did you see it for the first time, the video?
I saw it. I was on vacation, and someone called me and told me that it was going to come on, and I watched it, and I was just like, I was kind of in denial. Like, I went in this whole denial phase or whatever, but it's fine. That's the way I don't want to judge him or anything like that, because that's the way he had to deal with what happened, and, and that's fine, but I know that if I was in a relationship and something happened, I couldn't really go there.
You've been quoted as saying something very bad happened. You can just clear up this. The impression is that Britney did something very bad that hurt you. She had a relationship with somebody else. Was there an incident?
Promised to her that I wouldn't say specifically why we broke up.
Although Justin says that all the lyrics on his new CD come from his own experience, he denies that any were written specifically for Britney. Yet when we sat down at the piano and asked him to play something from Justified, he chose instead to play a song that nobody has ever heard before. Interesting lyrics.
Thought our love was so strong, I guess I was dead wrong. But to look at it positively, hey girl, at least you gave me another song about a horrible woman.
He's starring as a kind of villain in the tabloid accounts of supposed jealous arguments and then a horrible breakup with her self-proclaimed first love, Justin Timberlake. He's left the impression that you weren't faithful, that you betrayed the relationship.
I think everyone has a side to their story, and to make them feel a certain way, and make them feel, and I'm not technically saying he's wrong, but I'm not technically saying he's right either. So, this feels really awkward, right?
Justin wasn't quite done yet with his public destruction of Britney's image. He would go on to infamously appear on Hot 97, where he would violate Britney's privacy by openly discussing their intimate life, something he has done more than once through the years.
Hot 97, the Star Buckwell Morning Show. Justin Timberlake is in the house, and I just want to ask you one question. Did you Britney Spears? Yes or no?
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
Okay, I did it. No, Britney has always said, and I'm quoting, good morals mean waiting to have sex until after you've been married.
I would definitely agree with her on that.
Okay. Did you and she live up to this during your relationship?
Sure. Sure.
I'd like to think that at first he'll date a popular female singer. Publicly, they'll claim to be virgins, but privately, he hid it.
A really weird time. There was talk about what we did together, and really sexual and stuff, and I just felt very exploitive and very weird. I was like, why is he going on these shows and they're asking him and he's talking, but I'm sure, just like right now. You're asking me about it and I'm talking about it and just kind of comes out.
Britney always took the high road when discussing the breakup, but after Justin outed their bedroom life, she did make one below-the-belt comment. In an MTV interview, Britney made a hand gesture indicating that Justin is small. Well, Justin's grandma, she didn't like that too much. And in an interview with The Sun, she told them that, quote, "I helped raise him, and I can assure you that there is nothing wrong with him physically." Anyways, journalists across the country would take Justin's side, using the breakup as an excuse to destroy a then 20-year-old Britney's reputation, marking the beginning of the 6-year career assassination of Britney Spears. Anytime Britney would enter a new relationship, the tabloids would attempt to poke holes in it. Multiple exes would make up salacious stories about Britney's life in the bedroom, some trying to focus on her insecurities, others detailing the level of her freak. Either way, for the next 6 years, Britney's personal life would become the hottest discussion in the pop world. As for Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera, they would continuously rub salt in the wound, all while building up their own reputations and careers.
I've known her since I was like 10 years old, and she had that voice when she was 10 years old. She's, I think, the best, in my opinion, the best singer of my generation.
Aww, isn't that nice?
The year 2002 not only saw the end of Justin and Britney's relationship as the world knew it, but the commercial success of pop icon Christina Aguilera, with the release of her iconic second album, Stripped. Christina's label RCA was already fighting a losing battle against Britney's label Jive. See, in the time it took Christina to release one album, plus a side Latin and Christmas project, Britney already had 3 full-length albums, and they were already platinum or diamond. Despite the media trashing her, Britney was unstoppable. But Stripped would be huge for Christina's career, selling over 12 million copies and dazzling the world with hits like Beautiful and the pop culture defining Dirty. Now, despite their record labels pitting them against each other, if you were to ask Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera what they thought of each other, they would appear to be pretty supportive of one another. But that facade would begin to crack towards the end of 2002, as rumors would begin swirling that Justin and Christina were sleeping together, though Justin has denied this. There are also some rumors that he and Britney were back together, but when Justin was asked about this, he simply responded with, "I'm single." By 2003, all bets would be off and the claws would come out.
It's Britney, bitch. Now they wanna dance, dance like me. Dance like me. Wanna dance, dance like me. Sit pretty, watch me ride this beat.
Justin arrived before Britney Friday night in Los Angeles wearing a brown cap and striped shirt. He was solo when he went in. Britney arrived with friends several minutes later after making her way into the jam-packed Dublins on the Sunset Strip. Eyewitnesses saw her make a beeline to the back corner where Justin was. Bodyguards kept well-wishers away while the former couple talked privately and danced for about 15 minutes. Christina Aguilera was next to arrive, and 5 minutes later, Britney made a quick exit.
Did you have fun tonight?
I had an amazing
birthday
time.
wish for Justin?
Happy birthday, Justin. I hope you had an amazing time.
The rumor that you were sitting next to a certain person that you're familiar with in your past. Starts with a B, ends with a Y?
I wouldn't mind that.
Though not together, both were sitting in the front row, and the Osbournes just couldn't resist.
Tell the mama. Why aren't you two gorgeous people together? I'm gonna have to take him, Britney.
All right, you go sit on Justin's lap.
Ow!
I'm gonna go sit on Britney's.
I know you fans want to know if you guys are back together, if you guys are an item again.
Oh,
Justin.
I'm single. I would date Christina.
Now, in January of 2003, fresh off Justin's breakup with Britney, it was announced at the American Music Awards that Christina Aguilera would officially be joining Justin's tour.
Are things heating up between Justin and Christina? They set the record straight on E!
Then will you sing together?
Hopefully. Yeah, that's what we can just say right now is hopefully.
I figured if I couldn't get a date, then that would be a nice consolation prize.
Shut up.
She wouldn't give me the number, but she said she would go out on tour with me, so, you know, I'll take what I can get.
And you guys are both single, right?
Yes, I am.
Christina.
Yeah, I don't talk about that stuff anymore because it's just too personal.
Okay.
People blow things out of proportion, but thanks.
All right. Justin, I like Christina's answer.
Yeah,
Justin, do you enjoy? Are you enjoying being single? Is it good for you right now?
I don't talk about that stuff.
Justin!
Out of proportion.
You should know, my God.
See her try to set me up for that, though? She's like, I agree with you, Christina. So, Justin.
He is justified, and she's stripped, and now they're together.
Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera debut their joint tour tomorrow night in Phoenix. This show seems like it's ripe for great parties afterwards.
There'll be definitely
I don't know
those moments.
anything about that.
Yeah,
You know, honestly,
Trouser snake.
In all actuality, I'm gonna continue to.
I'm playing.
In all actuality, you know, a lot of the cities that we'll be in, we'll get on the bus. I'm talking now, okay?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
you see that?
I'm just kidding.
There was a gentleman earlier.
Hold on, what did she call him before? I'm still going on that.
Trouser snake? What? What's going on?
I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to
Justin,
say
don't
that.
exit the interview. Get back.
Christina, we read that you said that you think Justin should get back with Britney in your Rolling Stone interview you guys just did. Did you say that? And if so, why?
In the interview, they asked who out there could you see Justin most likely to be with. And, you know, I just see a lot of girls around him, and he knows this, that are just so out to be with him, for him, and the whole thing. And it's just like, cut it, give me a break. Ooh, I used your word. And, you know, it's just like, whatever. And I just know that Britney has known him since she was a little girl, before he was like Justin the star, and he was just Justin. But I don't want to make somebody uncomfortable, so we'll just drop that subject.
It's a little too late for that, don't you think?
Oh, sorry.
See, Justin and Christina wouldn't only tour across the world together, but they would actually release a joint EP titled Justin and Christina, even suggestively posing together in the January 2003 cover of Rolling Stone. Now, in the cover story interview, Christina actually gave her 2 cents about Justin and Britney's split, actually revealing that she believes Justin's ideal mate is Britney, and that the couple needed to get back together. Now, Britney was especially perturbed by Christina's words, as she had just broken up with Justin, and the cover of the magazine was fueling dating rumors even further between Justin and Christina. Britney penned in her memoir, quote, "They were together on the cover of Rolling Stone, him in a black tank top, looking at her with sexy eyes, her looking out at the camera, wearing a lace-up black shirt. In that story, she said she thought Justin and I should get back together, which was just confusing, given how negative she'd been elsewhere. Even if they weren't trying to be cruel, it felt like they were just pouring salt in the wound. Why was it so easy for everyone to forget that I was a human being, vulnerable enough that these headlines could leave a bruise?" End quote. It was like Justin and Christina's teams were intentionally trying to do anything they could to hurt Britney, and this created tension between Britney and Christina. They were constantly being commercially pit against one another, but now they were also caught up in Britney's love life. But it wasn't just that. See, up until this point, publicly, Christina Aguilera had positioned herself as the antithesis of Britney Spears. Where Britney was known for her iconic baby voice and endless fashion, Christina was known as the girl next door who could sing her heart out. Teenagers from the late 90s and early 2000s would be forced to choose a side.
Pick a side, pick a side.
This became such a lucrative rivalry for publications to write about that it actually caught the attention of Coca-Cola, as the age-old question had been changed from Coke or Pepsi to Britney or Christina.
You know, there's people out there who are going to say, well, because Britney Spears did the Pepsi commercial. That's why Coke is having Christina do this.
There's always that comparison thing, which is really old by now. I'm just bored with the topic now. It's just something that comes with the territory, and she's doing her thing, I'm doing mine, and it's 2 very different commercials.
What's your favorite soft drink?
It's Coke, for real.
Diet Coke, real Coke?
Real Coke, regular.
Me too. Yeah, although it doesn't show on you.
Candidly, just between you and me, how much Pepsi do you think you drink on an average day?
I really do like Pepsi.
Really? What's your favorite kind?
I really do. My favorite kind of Pepsi's Pepsi.
Well, you don't drink Diet Pepsi or...
No,
Pepsi
just regular Pepsi.
However, Britney and Christina's rivalry would go way deeper than just their soda commercials, and it would all start going haywire in 2003.
World doing her thing, and I definitely, you know, I do my thing. I don't have any thing against her at all. You know, with what she does in her business and stuff, but there's just, you know, I think it's important to, you know, distance yourself from certain people. You know, she can be kind of rude sometimes, but she's a very good artist. I really liked her album. I thought it was really good.
And this all came to a head at the 2003 Video Music Awards. the MTV Video Music Awards have long been a tradition of jaw-dropping performances that can get the attention of the entire world. For only one night a year, the entire pop culture world stops everything they're doing to turn their attention to the VMA stage. Here, pop, rap, and rock legends have created the most shocking and memorable moments in pop culture history. In some ways, it's actually bigger than the Super Bowl, and Britney Spears is the queen of the VMAs. From her 1999 performance with NSYNC to her nude bodysuit reveal at the turn of the century, or even her performance 2 years prior, stunted up in a cage adorned with a yellow snake. Britney Spears, without a doubt, dominated the Video Music Awards for the greater part of the early 2000s. And Christina Aguilera had also already made her mark on the VMA stage as well, with her unforgettable medley in the year 2000. So when Video Music Awards veteran Madonna wanted to make a memorable moment, she knew who she had to ask. Now, at first, Madonna flew the idea of kissing Pink, Gwen Stefani, and even recent Deep Dive subject Jennifer Lopez on the VMA stage to her song Like a Virgin. But all three of those artists all either declined or had scheduling conflicts already. Now, keep in mind at this time, Britney was working on her 4th studio album, In the Zone, and Madonna was actually a collaborator on the title track, so it made a lot of sense for Britney to join Madonna on stage. However, it's often forgotten, even by Britney in her own book, that to the left side of Madonna was a dark-haired Christina Aguilera. The iconic performance would feature Madonna, Britney, and Christina adorned in wedding dresses, performing Madonna's hits Hollywood and Like a Virgin. But the big show-stopping moment was at the end of the performance when Madonna would turn to kiss a 22-year-old Britney Spears and then a 23-year-old Christina Aguilera. Now, Britney recalled in her book that the kiss was actually entirely unplanned and that they'd only ever practiced an air kiss. But on the night of the show, Britney was thinking back to her previous iconic VMA performances. Britney, writing in her book, quote, "About 2 minutes before the performance, I was sitting on the side of the stage and thinking about my biggest performance to date at the VMAs. When I'd pulled off a suit to reveal a sparkly outfit, I thought to myself, I want a moment like that again this year. With the kiss, should I just go for it?" End quote. Now, during the live airing of the show, right as Britney kissed Madonna and stopped the world, instead of panning to Christina's kiss with Madonna that happened seconds later, the camera would cut to a freshly wounded and marred Justin Timberlake, who did not look happy. Britney Spears had done it again. She'd surpassed the virality of her first 3 VMA performances.
This is seriously something I've dreamt about since I was a little girl. I cannot believe this just like freaking happened. I'm like on very major high right now. I feel very cool. So no, seriously, it was amazing. It was awesome. I feel very blessed and it was awesome.
Of course, I knew it was gonna. I mean, you kiss Madonna. I mean, anybody kisses Madonna creates some hype. She's very soft lips. She's a great. She's a cute little kisser, but she was great to work with. Definitely the highlight of my night.
Were you surprised at how talked about your kiss was with Britney?
Yeah, I was surprised. Absolutely.
The opening act, everybody's going to be talking about that.
It was cool. It was very glossy. I very much enjoyed Coldplay though.
This amazing performance was Britney, Christina, and Madonna. That was sick.
You love that, right?
And they made out. That was cute. Britney Spears is the most beautiful girl in the world, and I love her music more than anyone.
Next thing I know was like it was the kiss, and I was like, whoa! It totally blew me away. But I don't know. It was interesting. It was definitely interesting, kind of fun.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I didn't know what to think. It just kind of happened right in front of you, and it was just, you had to take it in.
I think it's going to be the most talked about thing of tomorrow. I know everybody was like...
Donna was great, kissing Britney. It's like, where's my kiss?
Now, Madonna was asked by Oprah about the kiss, and she actually only had this to say.
Did you know that it was like on the front page of
I had no idea that it was going to cause the ruckus that it caused. I mean, it was just a friendly kiss.
And you
it really was. I swear to God.
Not only was it a ruckus, but it's like major news stories. I heard that it's been like running on clips over and over and over again in this country, but you are totally oblivious.
Yeah, there must be a lack of news stories or something, right?
Now,
if Britney looks like she's, kissing me in an aggressive manner, it was a surprise to me. I swear to God. Showgirl, after 20 years in show business, we learn to roll with the punches,
Absolutely, that's right. You don't go, oh my God.
You get a lemon, you make lemonade. If someone comes at you with their lips slightly parted, you have to kiss them. It was totally meant in innocence and fun, and I don't know. I don't know why people are making such a big deal about it.
You really don't.
I really don't.
You really don't. And are you surprised?
Well, hasn't anyone ever seen two girls kiss before?
Well, I don't know if most of America has. Have you? Oh, no.
This was the straw that broke the camel's back for Christina. The constant comparisons and never being able to keep up with the pop prowess of Britney Spears had taken its toll on the young singer. And she was through being nice.
So why do you think the press focused so much on Britney kissing Madonna rather than you kissing Madonna?
Maybe because, you know, MTV cut away the shot to Justin. And you completely missed my kiss with Madonna, but so we'll blame MTV for that one. And they already know that, you know, it was a little like, you know, it was just like them kind of being a little bit tabloidy themselves, you know, and, oh, let's get the ex-boyfriend's reaction to the Britney Madonna kiss, you know. But, you know, all in all, you know, I wasn't in it for the kiss necessarily anyway. I was up there to perform. And who can turn down a performance with Madonna, you know? I wouldn't do it again, but it was a one-time thing. And I was down for it. It was fun.
Now Britney has recorded her single with Madonna. Would you ever do a single with Madonna now, or probably not? Leave that?
I think I'll leave it with the performance. The performance was good. Maybe Madonna 10 years ago, maybe, but now, you know, I mean, I've seen the video, I've seen what they've done together, and...
What do you think? Truthfully.
Oh, I can't be so truthful on
Come
camera.
on, be truthful. What do you think?
I wished, you know, it was like the same old, you know, it was very bowling pin formation, dancers behind, you know, it was nothing that you haven't seen yet. I was like, oh, you know, that's dope, you know, Britney Madonna, you know, I was actually hoping for something a little more exciting, you know, but, you know, it was what it was a Paul Hunter video, and that's that.
When asked about the kiss in 2018 by Andy Cohen, Christina revealed she felt entirely left out by the publicity stunt.
I was there when Madonna kissed you and Britney. And I always wondered, did it bug you that they cut away for the Xtina kiss?
It was weird. And you know why they cut away for it? Because of they cut away to get Justin's reaction.
Because she had kissed Britney, and was Justin
It was a Justin reaction
with Britney
shot
at the time, or?
No, they were exes, but still it was just like a cheap shot. It was like,
right.
Okay.
Because I don't think people actually totally realized that she made out with both of you.
Yeah. It was because I definitely saw like the newspaper the next day, and it was like, oh well, I guess I got left out of that one.
Right. Did that bug you at all, or you were like?
I mean, everything happened so quickly back then, and everything was in a whirlwind. I think I was could have been on tour at the time or whatever, but I had my own performance that night. It was Fighter,
right? And
it was with Dave Navarro. It was like it was a kick-ass performance. So I was okay with that. She could have the kiss.
In a now infamous interview with Blender magazine, Christina divulged, quote, "Actually, I was up for kissing Britney, but Britney wasn't. She seemed very distant, even during rehearsals. Every time I tried to start a conversation with her, well, let's just say she seemed nervous the whole time. I wanted to reach out to her because I feel like she needs somebody in her life right now to help guide her. I feel like I've grown a lot this year, and we did used to be friends once after all. She seemed to me like a lost little girl. Someone who desperately needs guidance. But who knows, maybe I'm not the right person to offer it. We're very different people, aren't we? In our world, there are different types of entertainers. You have your artists and you have your regular performers. I'm an artist and, well, ... Now, this set Britney ablaze. She actually replied to Christina in a Blender article of her own. When Blender was interviewing Britney, they actually read the lost little girl comment to her, and Britney's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. The magazine writing at the time that Britney was fuming, saying, "That's funny because I haven't seen her in 2 years, and then she comes up to me in a club in front of all these people and tries to put her tongue down my throat. I'm like, how are you?" End quote. Britney, who for the first time in years let her guard down, was absolutely furious at Christina's telling of events. Britney further explained, "I say it's good to see you," and she goes, "Well, you're not being real with me." I was like, well, Christina, what's your definition of being real? Going up to girls and kissing them after you haven't seen them for 2 years? A lost girl? I think it's probably the other way around.
We actually interviewed Christina not too long ago, and she said that she saw you in a club, and it was when you'd just broken up with Justin.
Did she tell you that she tried to kiss me?
Is that a CD UK exclusive?
Yes, she did. Yeah, we were at a club and she came to me and she put her tongue down my throat. I was like, hello, I haven't seen you in 2 years. How are you?
She likes you.
Yeah, obviously.
Because in the meantime, she told us that she was giving you advice about the breakup with Justin and stuff.
Oh, she was? Okay.
Got something else going on at the time?
No, I don't remember talking to her about that.
Right. Okay, but if some of our viewers, might be feeling like that, how's the best?
I would say if you are going through a breakup you know what, no one can everyone has their own ways of dealing. And my thing is have a bunch of friends around and eat a lot. Just have fun, soak yourself in the bed. If you want to cry all day for 2 days, do it. Just get over it. You know, indulge yourself and let your heart feel and, get it out. And just, cry. And the pain will eventually go away. It does go away.
Now, the interviewer noted that Britney was very apprehensive when saying this about Christina, as up until this point, she'd held her tongue entirely. But Christina's offhand comments clearly cut deep. And Britney ended the interview saying, quote, "When somebody's been rude to you so many times, it's like, you know what, Christina, I'm really not about the fake bullshit anymore. You're scary, and I feel really dark when I get around you. So I need to be over here now." Now, this is where we get to the ugliest and meanest part of the feud between Christina and Britney. Clearly, Justin and Christina's managers thought that teasing a relationship between the two of them would drum up a lot of buzz. However, a performance and skit at the 2003 EMAs would take this feud to an entirely other level, when Justin and Christina would shockingly present an award with a blow-up doll they deemed as Britney Spears.
This is a special moment because I haven't seen him since we spent most of the summer touring the States together. He deserves nothing but respect, and I love him. Please give it up for Justin Timberlake! It's good to see you, Justin.
Somebody's fine tonight, and it's not me.
So I haven't seen you in a while.
What?
I haven't seen you in a while since tour.
It's been she's kicking ass tonight, right?
Don't say that so soon, Justin. Because these kind of shows, you know what happens during them. And, I just have to tell you, you left a couple things on the tour bus. And,
okay.
Just so you know, I just wanted to return them to you. I got here.
I'm so glad. I've been looking for that everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And the writers thought it looked kind of familiar to somebody. And I had a couple other things for you, but...
While Justin and Christina's careers were going strong, 2004 would bring another difficult year for Britney's public image. This time, the headlines were calling Britney a homewrecker due to her quick engagement, then subsequent marriage to backup dancer Kevin Federline.
So how do you go from this infamous beach footage on the first time they went public to bride-to-be in 2 short months? Let the advice begin.
Britney Spears got engaged.
Oh, right. I'd heard that.
To her backup dancer.
Backup dancers, which it always works out with the backup dancers.
Did she really get engaged? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I see them in the magazines. I think they're cute. Congratulations.
I'm so happy for her. And it's been months since she was married, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a bad idea.
When Christina was asked about Britney Spears' engagement, she said, quote, "I know Britney. She's not trailer trash, but she sure acts that way. I can't believe that girl bought her own engagement ring. I've seen it up close. It looks like she got it at QVC." Fast forward through the next 3 years, Britney would start a family with Kevin Federline.
Both you and Britney married, and we understand that you all exchanged wedding gifts.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. We keep a relationship, and, just hearing each other, I mean, God, what an amazing thing. We've grown up together in this business, basically. So we're all doing amazing things and, you know, becoming mommies and, you know, husbands and wives. It's, you know, crazy. So it's a beautiful time in all of our lives.
So what do you all get each other?
She got me a really beautiful crystal vase. And then when she had her baby, I sent over, you know, a huge baby basket full. I didn't know whether it was a boy or a girl yet. So I sent over, you know, just something really sweet.
Christina would end her golden era by releasing her hit album, Back to Basics. And Justin Timberlake was riding high, releasing his hit #1 album, Future Sex Love Sounds. 2007 would mark an intense career switch for Britney. She would fire her entire team and begin work on the most critically acclaimed album of her career, pop music Bible, Blackout. However, this is also when her marriage would fall to pieces and her career would face much scrutiny. By January of 2008, Britney Spears was placed on a 5150 hold, denied due process, and placed under an unconstitutional conservatorship.
Amid a media frenzy, the 26-year-old pop star was brought by ambulance to a Los Angeles hospital from her Beverly Hills home. Another chapter in her long-running custody battle with ex-husband Kevin Federline over their 2 sons.
During this time, Britney's decisions were all made for her, down to what she was even allowed to eat and wear. Her life was not her own, and for 14 years, the California probate court system would dangle the custody of her children in front of her, keeping her entrapped in the conservatorship.
A court says Jamie Spears will stay in charge of his daughter Britney's personal and financial affairs indefinitely. The star's father has been granted an extension of the conservatorship that was due to expire at the end of the year. Jamie Spears and several attorneys control Britney Spears' affairs, including a say in her professional career.
Christina, who was watching the news like the rest of the world, had seen what Britney had gone through. And in a 2008 interview with Daily Mail, she apologized for her negative comments about Britney through the years, saying, quote, "It must have seemed as if we were competing, but in reality, Britney is someone I used to hold hands with. We were silly little girls together." Despite Christina and Britney seemingly being on good terms, the media's comparison of the two just would never stop.
Yeah, but Christina, honey, she's much more sane, honey. She have not been locked up in an asylum. She hadn't cut all her damn hair.
Christina was smart enough to marry somebody with money. Who did Britney Spears marry? Kevin Federline? He's really blown up. He's blown up literally.
Dancer.
There was a period in time where her body was built like she had a Waffle House in her house. And she had to work back like Rocky to get back to where she is right now. Christina Aguilera, she fell off a little bit because she had a baby, but she bounced back very quickly.
You call that falling off a little bit?
Yeah.
You call what Christina Aguilera did a little bit of falling off the wagon?
Dude, come on. And look at the pictures of them pregnant. Britney was way prettier pregnant.
Adorable.
As Britney worked her late 20s away, Christina would get her start on the hit reality competition show The Voice. And as one of the greatest voices of our generation, she made for the perfect judge. Now in 2012, Britney was also cast on a singing competition show, Simon Cowell's The X Factor. It didn't take long for the media to begin pitting the two pop stars against each other in an attempt to revive the old rivalry. They were both in similar points in their career and were now competing for TV ratings.
Christina, do you think Britney's a disaster, or what do you think?
Nope. Do you think you're in direct competition with Britney Spears?
No sign, no sign, no sign. Christina, do you think she's doing a good job?
Thank you so much, guys.
And what about Britney obviously joining the X Factor? You practically grew up together.
I know.
How do you think she'll do?
Britney's so talented. I mean, God, you know, like all the touring and everything. You know, a lot of these people, they come on the show, they just want to know, you know, how do I get out there? How do I own it? How do I get the stage presence? How do I control my nerves? You know, how do I connect with the audience? And, you know, I mean, she's a pro. She's been at it for a number of years now. We did grow up together, basically. So, you know, it's actually cool that, you know, these strong women are joining the club.
Voice has Christina Aguilera. Actually, you have Britney Spears.
And we have Britney Spears.
Yeah, you keep on bumping into her.
It's full circle.
Throughout your whole career. What do you think?
It's a little eerie.
Yeah.
It's eerie. It is kind of odd, though. What are the, you know, chances of? It's really kind of funny.
Yeah.
I wonder whether she had anything to do with that decision.
Oh, you think she was the one behind the idea?
Who knows?
No. Do you get along with her?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a good friend.
Okay. And who will you be watching the show with? Your sons?
Christina.
Christina.
Britney would only be a judge for one season of The X Factor, and the very next year in 2013, her massive 4-year-long Vegas residency, Piece of Me, would launch. Now, we have a full 7-part series on the conservatorship of Britney Spears that details her career in depth and how she was essentially forced to work. It was no secret in Hollywood that you couldn't get in touch with Britney, and artists had to go through her corrupt management in order to collaborate with her. In 2018, Christina said she was actually down to do a song with Britney if Britney's reps gave the okay.
Back then, it was just like the media was the storyteller for you, and
right,
you had to go. Have the say.
Yeah, you
rather
had no
than being
way.
like, this is what it is. Here's a picture of us right here and now, hanging out, in our pajamas, eating popcorn or whatever.
So you're saying there were instances where people believed there was an issue between you and someone else when there wasn't.
When I was coming up, it was very obvious. Me and Britney were definitely.
Right.
There's a Britney Christina, considered rivalry thing. And yeah, if we had social media back then, we would have probably done a song together or something and just squash.
Well, it doesn't seem like it's probably not too late for that.
It's probably not too late.
You guys should do a song together. Is that something that you would? Do you ever talk to Britney Spears?
Hey, I'm down. If her reps say okay, and
Now, 1 year later in 2019, the Free Britney movement really started to gain traction, and by 2021, it had exploded in popularity, where many celebrities started to come forward in defense of Britney, including Christina.
Christina wrote in part, "It is unacceptable that any woman or human wanting to be in control of their own destiny might not be allowed to live life as they wish."
Yeah.
She added, "To a woman who has worked under conditions and pressure unimaginable to most, I promise you, she deserves all the freedom possible to live her happiest life."
The public also started to look back and see how horribly Britney had been treated by the media. Old stories resurfaced, like how Justin used the breakup to fuel his career, while Britney's was being destroyed. Because of this, Justin started receiving so much backlash. And almost 20 years after the infamous breakup, he finally publicly apologized.
A surprise apology from pop superstar Justin Timberlake, admitting he failed fellow superstars Britney Spears and Janet Jackson. Timberlake posting on Instagram Friday, "I am deeply sorry for the times in my life where my actions contributed to the problem, where I spoke out of turn or did not speak up for what was right," saying, "I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson both individually because I care for and respect these women and I know I failed."
After Britney's conservatorship was finally terminated in November of 2021, basically everyone in Hollywood was being asked about Britney and if they were happy for her. When Christina was asked at the Latin Grammys, she was whisked away by her team before she could answer, which would upset Britney.
Britney, have you had any communication? Have you guys had any communication?
No, we're not doing that tonight. I'm sorry. Thank you. No, bye.
But I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
Britney took issue with the situation and shared her thoughts about it in an Instagram story on Friday, writing, quote, "I love and adore everyone who supported me, but refusing to speak when you know the truth is equivalent to a lie. 13 years being in a corrupt, abusive system, yet why is it such a hard topic for people to talk about? I'm the one who went through it. All the supporters who spoke up and supported me, thank you. Yes, I do matter."
Christina didn't initially respond, but she did eventually say that she would be open to having a conversation with Britney.
She's finally free. She's gone through a very difficult time. We've all seen that. Have you spoken a lot to her? Have you given her any advice?
I would love to. I would always be open to that. It's a subject that I definitely want to be careful of because I'd never want to speak out of turn about somebody that I have so much respect and admiration for. But I'm so happy. I will just say, what I do feel comfortable in saying, as I've said before, actually, and stated that I couldn't be happier for her. Every woman deserves to feel empowered and to own that for themselves, however they see fit. So, yes.
In September of 2022, kind of out of nowhere, Britney would take to Instagram, making posts that seemed to be aimed at Christina, more specifically, body shaming.
We're back in the early 2000s again as Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera beef is in the news.
It all started when Britney posted to IG an image that stated, "I found there was only one way to look thin. Hang out with fat people." Adding in the caption, "If I had Christina Aguilera's dancers, I would have looked extremely small." Well, the internet was quick to call out Brit for body shaming. Well, Brit is clearing the air. She stated, "By no means was I being critical of Christina's beautiful body. What I posted is a projection of the insecurities I deal with all the time as a result of how my parents and the media have treated me. I appreciate you all being understanding with me as I figure out this new life I'm living."
Unfortunately, the damage of these posts were done, and Christina swiftly unfollowed Britney Spears on social media.
So where does all that leave us? Well, the OG Musketeer love triangle was completely disbanded. As you saw, Justin made his attempts at an apology, but in 2024, he would make headlines again. This time for driving while under... let's just say he was unwell. Christina Aguilera has since left The Voice to light Instagram on fire, stunting out every day, pushing fashion boundaries as far as they can go with a fresh new install every post. 2024 was truly a Christina-sance, and she's going nowhere. As for the Princess of Pop, Britney Spears, she is finally free from the confines of her conservatorship, and her father has no power over her anymore. She's written her tell-all book exposing the very people who benefited from her struggles and tragedy all those years, including Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera, in the past 4 years, causing them to get the most backlash they'd ever received in the history of their careers. So it seems all is well as it can be in the 1995 Mickey Mouse Club, but we still have so much more to tell, so stay tuned because you never know what we're gonna deep dive into next. I'm Jake.
And I'm Shelby.
This is Deep Dive. Bye.